Sarah always felt like she was different from other kids. While most of her friends had lived in the same town their whole lives, Sarah's family moved often. Her father had a job that took them to different countries. So by the time Sarah was 10 years old, she had already lived in 4 different places. They first moved from a small town in England to a big city in Japan. Everything felt new and strange. The streets were crowded. The signs were written in a language Sarah couldn't understand, and the food differed from anything she had ever tasted. At first, Sarah missed her old home and friends. She felt lost and out of place in this new city. But as time went on, she started to like it. She learned some words in Japanese, made new friends at school, and even began to enjoy the food she once found strange. Just when she was starting to feel at home, it was time to move again. Their next stop was a small village in Italy. The change was huge. The busy city streets of Japan were replaced with quiet, winding roads. In Italy, life seemed to slow down. People spent their afternoons sipping coffee in cafes or chatting with neighbors in the town square. Sarah quickly fell in love with the Italian way of life. She learned how to say ciao to greet people and picked up a few other Italian words along the way. She loved the fresh pasta, the warm bread, and the friendly people who always seemed to have a smile on their faces. The countryside was beautiful, with rolling hills and fields of sunflowers that stretched as far as the eye could see. Sarah spent her days exploring the village, making new friends, and enjoying the simple pleasures of life. But soon enough, it was time to pack up and move again. This time, they went to Brazil. The lively culture of Brazil was unlike anything Sarah had ever seen. The people were full of energy. The music was upbeat and fun, and there were colorful festivals almost every week. Sarah quickly made friends with the kids in her neighborhood. They taught her how to dance the samba and helped her learn to speak Portuguese. The beach became Sarah's favorite place to relax. She loved feeling the warm sand under her feet and the cool ocean waves on her skin. Every day felt like an adventure, and Sarah enjoyed every moment of it. Despite all the fun she was having, there were times when Sarah wished she could stay in one place for a longer time. Just when she would start to feel comfortable, it was time to say goodbye to her friends and move to a new country. The goodbyes were always hard, and starting over in a new place wasn't easy. She often felt lonely in the first few weeks of living in a new country. It took time to make new friends and get used to the different ways of life. Even though it was tough sometimes, Sarah couldn't imagine staying in one place forever. She loved the excitement of moving to a new country, learning about different cultures, and seeing how people lived their lives. Each move was like starting a new chapter in her life, full of fresh experiences and new things to learn. She felt like the world was a big, beautiful book, and she wanted to read every page. As Sarah got older, her love for travel only grew stronger. She decided to become a travel writer so she could keep exploring new places and sharing her experiences with others. Her job took her to all sorts of interesting places: tiny villages in the mountains, bustling cities with millions of people, and quiet beaches where she could watch the sunset over the ocean. Each new place was different from the last, and Sarah loved discovering what made each one special. One day, while exploring a new city in France, Sarah met a man named John. He was also a traveler, with a love for adventure, just like Sarah. They quickly became friends, sharing stories about their travels and dreaming about the places they still wanted to visit. Soon, they were traveling together, exploring the world as a team. They climbed mountains, sailed on rivers, and wandered through ancient ruins, always excited to see what the next day would bring. Traveling with John made Sarah's adventures even more fun. They laughed together, learned together, and supported each other when things didn't go as planned. As they traveled from country to country, Sarah began to realize that she didn't have to be alone on her journey. With John by her side, every new place felt a little more like home. But as much as Sarah loved traveling, she started to wonder if it might be nice to have a place to call home. She thought about what it would be like to have a house where she could always return after her travels, a place where she and John could relax and recharge before setting off on their next adventure. Sarah shared her thoughts with John one evening while they were watching the stars in Greece. He listened carefully and then smiled. "We don't have to choose between traveling and having a home," he said. "We can have both." The idea made sense to Sarah. They could have a home base, a place to return to after each journey, without giving up their love for travel. So, they decided to find a small house in a quiet town. It was a place they could come back to after their adventures, a place where they could rest and prepare for their next trip. Sarah liked the idea of having a place to keep her memories, a shelf for the souvenirs she collected, a wall for the photos of the places they had visited, and a garden where she could plant flowers from all the countries she loved. Even with a home base, Sarah and John continued to explore the world. They visited new countries, met new people, and learned new things. But no matter where they went, they always had a place to return to, a place that was truly theirs. Sarah realized that having a home didn't mean giving up her love for travel. Instead, it gave her a sense of balance. She could have adventures and see the world, but she also had a place to call her own, a place where she could feel safe and comfortable. In the end, Sarah found that she didn't have to choose between a life of adventure and a place to call home. She could have both, and that made her happier than ever. Her journey continued, full of new places to see and new stories to tell. But now, no matter where her travels took her, she knew she had a home to come back to. A home filled with love, laughter, and memories from every corner of the world. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more fun content. See you in the next one. Take care and have a great day.